Assalamualaikum, brothers and sisters. We are at part number 10, and our topic is towards exploring few mathematical facts of Surah Al-Kawthar, the smallest chapter of Holy Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwal abtar. This is actually the Surah Al-Kawthar, and we will conduct this discussion based on non-abjad based analysis, inshallah. Table 1 shows the non-abjad numbering of first ayat, second ayat, and third ayat. Let me explain this thing at first. This table is actually oriented based on the first appearance of the corresponding alphabets. That means in A'taynak al-Kawthar, in first ayat, Alif is the first appearance, then Noon is the second appearance, and then actually Ain is the third appearance, Toa is the fourth appearance. So in this way, Alif is the first appearance and its value is 1, Noon is second, Ain is at the third, Toa is at the fourth, and in this way, uh, based on the first appearance, the numbering actually placed here. Ra is the 10th appearance, so it is actually its value is actually 10. In second ayat, fasalli li rabbika wanhar, fa is the 11th appearance. So fa's value is 11. Sa is 12. Swad is 12, and Lam is actually 7th because in first ayat Lam comes at 7th. Here we see that Lam is at 7th. Inna a'tainaka kal kawthar. So Lam is actually at the 7th position. So here is also it is 7th. So in this way, the second table is made, and same explanation is also applicable for the third table. That means for the third ayat also. Uh, Here we see that if we add these values, we get 66. If we add these values, the total is 101. And if we add these values, we will get the value 118. From first to third ayat, the placing the numbers one after another. And that means 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, etc., etc. And at last 8, 9, and 10, we get this number actually. From so from second ayat, there is 11, 12, 7, 7, 10, 13, at last 14 and 10. We get this value, 14 and 10. And from third ayat, we get actually this number. So combining or not combining, actually placing one after another for all the alphabets in Surah Al-Kawthar, we get actually this big number. The color is though different, but the number is the same. Actually, this is a big number, placing one after another the alphabets of Surah Al-Kawthar. In Abjad value, both Alif and Hamza have the same value 1. The Arabic alphabet comprises of 29 letters. If that means if we do not consider the abjad orientation, Alif and Hamza is actually different. So though in abjad consideration, there are 28 harfs or alphabets, but in Arabic alphabet counting, there are 29 letters because Hamza and Alif are not considered the same in non-Abjad calculations. In the calculation of table 1, 2, and 3, all harfs, that is no having shadda, are considered one harf as per appearance. That means in first ayat we have noon as the tasdeed or shadda in a'atayna kal-kawthar. That is noon has shadda. In second ayat fasalli li rabbika, ba and lam has the shadda, and in third ayat noon has the shadda. But here it is considered one as per appearance. So, in this way, this explanation is or the placing of the number is actually oriented. So let's move to the third slide. We noted Surah Al-Kawthar has three ayats, numbering all alphabets as per the first appearance. We can get table 1, 2, 3 from the first, second, and third ayat separately, as I have mentioned, table 1, 2, and 3, and these are the first, second, and third ayat of Surah Al-Kawthar. From first to third ayat, we get this number, placing the alphabetical numbers one after another. We get actually this big number, and we see that this number is actually the multiplication of these prime numbers. That means that this big number is actually is the product of these numbers 2, 3, 5, and this big prime number. From first to third ayat, with a number of surah and number of ayat placing one after another. That means number of surah is Surah Al-Kawthar is 108 surah, and its ayat is actually 3. So if we place these in values in front of this big number, we get actually this big number, and this number is also the product of these numbers. If we just make the vice versa, that means if we place the number of ayat at the first and the number of surah, that means Surah Al-Kawthar is a 108 surah. This value, if we place in the second, and this number, this big number actually is at the third position, we get that we see that this big number is also the multiplication of these prime numbers. And in the previous slide, we have got 66, 101, and 118, these three values. And from these three values, we actually can have this number. And this number is also the product of these three numbers. And if we add these numbers, we get 285, which is the product of actually these numbers. So quite few numbers, big numbers, small numbers we have in this slide number 3. And interestingly, we see that all the numbers in our concern are actually can be multiplied by can be divided by 3. That means all these numbers, this number, this big number, this number, and finally this number, all these numbers are divisible by the number 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. So from this discussion, we can come to the conclusion that all the alphabets in the Surah Al-Kawthar is perfectly oriented, aligned, and placed. Stunning existence of tree-based divisibility is seen in this Surah Al-Kawthar. Structure of this surah is such that any change can cause mismatch in calculation. So much beauty in Quran. Subhanallah. That's all. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullah.